Cheers. Frost forecast tonight, so I'm going to cut everything in the garden because while my season finished officially at the end of September, of course I still have commissions because I can never turn work down, which is what I'm always telling my clients, my students, turn work down, it's finished, you're done. So off I am going to cut for a couple commissions. There's a church festival this weekend. We've got a christening robe celebration going on in St Stephen's, Charlton Musgrove, if you're in the area. So I'm going to cut some flowers for them. And Tea Cake is pacing inside the door, wondering why she's on the other side. Anyway, I'm going cutting. I thought you might like to come with me. And then I've got a lot of wreathing to do, but that's a whole nother story. Cheers. Never go anywhere without a coffee cup. Let's go and cut the dahlias. Every single one. And if you're new to the channel, you're very welcome. Please do subscribe, press the bell icon, and we'll tell you when we've got more clips coming up. And if any of the tips and tricks we give you along the way are useful, you can always buy me a coffee, or better still, join my club where all the fun happens. So have a look. Press the join button on the top of my homepage of my channel, and it'll tell you about what happens in the club. And just really, it's a fun community of people who love to grow flowers, and we talk about it a lot. Anyway, that's my dog Tea Cake. Shall we go cutting, Tea Cake? Yes, we shall. Now, normally I would not just cut the whole garden. Normally I cut to order, but we really are at the end of the season. So anything I cut which doesn't get used in the commissions and work I've got over the next few days will probably end up on my mother-in-law's kitchen table. She lives in our tractor shed and she always gets my spares and my leftovers. I have a garden which is designed to be in full flower from the 1st of April to the 30th of September, and we are the 10th of October, so we're past the date when I need to have anything. So at this stage I'm kind of opportunistic, and if somebody rings me up and says, can you help? Then I say yes if I can. But the frost is inevitable. And so I'm glad that I can be opportunistic with this stuff. I don't have much, but I'll cut what I've got. So this is a 7-acre plot, and it's foliage, wildflowers, polytunnels are through there. We might go and have a look. And it's a long season. Not all of it is flowers, a lot of it is foliage, increasing amounts of foliage and shrubs. So as I come down here, you can see where we're clearing, mulching, making room, planting, and the last few cosmos are sort of hanging on, so we'll cut those. And the last dahlias, they have taken a hammering from the rain. We've had incredibly heavy rain, obviously nothing like Florida, but what happens with dahlias when it's really heavy weather is the backs of their heads here get kind of hammered, and so they flower in a sort of slightly sideways shape. You can tell when the weather's got to them, even if the flowers are looking all right. Sometimes they're rain stained. That's Alio, great love of mine. And so we'll cut all of these, and then we'll cut the cosmos, and then we'll see what else we've got. This is Blackjack. Oh yes, it is my dahlia hero. I don't grow a huge number of dahlias. I used to grow much more, but I'm very keen on thinking of my neighbouring flower farmers as my colleagues rather than my competition. And down the road from me now, literally 5 miles away, I have the lovely Natalie Tudhope of Somerset Dahlias. And she has 1,500 dahlias in the ground and masses to supply me. So over the summer, if I've needed a lot, I bought from her. But this is my kind of everyday top-up mix. Worked very well for me, and I'm sure that we artisan flower growers over the next, now that we've kind of established ourselves as an industry over the last 10-15 years, now we can kind of start to specialize. We don't all have to grow all of the things. We can be specialist growers. Fun. This dahlia's name is Aljo, A-L-J-O. I know, she's great. One of the pieces of work I'm cutting for is tomorrow I'm doing an online demonstration of how to make a funeral sheaf. A lot of people like to make their own for their family members or friends. You don't have to spend, you know, if you pay a florist to do it, there's a great skill. So that's why they're expensive. But equally, if you'd like to do your own or learn how to make your own, then, oh, hello, beetle. That's a shield bug. It's a true bug. Anyway, very exciting. So I'm cutting with very long stems for this. But equally, because the frost is coming, I'm kind of ready to cut the dahlias down anyway. So I'm sort of doing half my job. This little blonde person is a very small cafe au lait. I love her. It looks as though there's quite a lot in here in the polytunnel, but actually, in real life, the quality's not brilliant. And there's some, but I'm going to get a little bit out of here, but not really valuable. The floret zinnias, though, have been amazing. They've flowered and flowered and flowered, and there are a few more to take today. But again, tired, over the top. Kind of, you know, when they look at you and they go, I'm really ready for a floss, let me go, let me go. Right, not a huge amount of flowers, but enough for my project. So if it freezes tonight, they will be fine. So I better go and get some foliage to mix in. Just pinching out some sweet peas as I'm passing. You take, basically, I leave, and there are lots of different ways you can do this. I leave 2 sets of true leaves and snip off the top. And then they'll bush out. The point is that they will then bush out, and I'll get bigger plants next spring. This is really hard to do while holding a camera so I can see what I'm doing. And they call it pinching out sweet peas. Of course, if you actually pinched with your fingers are not sharp enough, so you'll bruise the stems. It's much, much easier to do with snips. So if you're looking for foliage at this time of the year, you know, towards the end of the season, then what you want to do is look for foliage that's on quite fresh stems. Otherwise, it can be a bit sheddy and it can dry up very quickly and sort of give up on you. So this poor old hammered Physocarpus, you can see where I've been cutting it all season. It's really taken a battering. But there are still some tall stems which I haven't been able to reach. I've not cut them because I can't reach them. But I'm going to reach them now. And you can see how they've got nice fresh stems. They're not too woody. And so they will hold the leaves well. If the stems are very woody, like that, they might dry up and shed very quickly. So I'm looking for material on quite fresh, new season stems to work for me now. Oh, look, it's a blue sky. Oh, and while we're here, look, the lovely wild asters in the hedge. We'll have some of you. And I'm coming down here, not for rather battered hydrangeas or the spindle, which is an old thing. I've had it in the garden for a long time. I never cut it because it looks wilty already, but it is such a great colour in the autumn. Look at that red. Anyway, I'm coming down here for my variegated cornus, which also, as you know, I have been cutting this since May, and it's astonishing how much you can take up. There are 5 plants here. I cannot tell you how many stems I've had off these 5 plants. They're just incredible. There are very, very few roses left, and I'm going to be really careful cutting what there are to make sure they're not too weather damaged or showing signs of any kind of botrytis, because they'll just rot in the vase and it won't look nice for my clients. I do not dunk my roses head first in fungicide, as some people do, in order to keep mold away. Very few artisan growers would do something like that. So this one is just fine. And all around the country, there are flower farmers today, 10th of October, improving their mental health, weirdly, by being outside. It's the World Mental Health Day. And hopefully by getting the last of their lovely summer crop in safely, so that even if they're not selling it, they can enjoy it on their own kitchen table, make a last few commissions with it, share the scent of the roses with somebody. Right, not bad for a garden with practically nothing in it. Enough for my commissions to do over the next couple of days. So I'll put them out of the way. There they are. Flower grower for scale. Not bad for a last harvest. Opportunistic harvest. This is not opportunistic. And this is my next job. I have to make 450 of these. So I've worked out that if I make 20 a day, I'll make 100 a week. Try not to work weekends, remember? So it'll take me 4.5 weeks to make them. So I better get going. keep on moving. It's actually, what's great is if we get the frost tonight, it'll take the leaves off the rest of the willow. At the moment, I'm slightly using what I can, but most of the willow still has its leaves on. So it's quite slow, but once the leaves are off, it's a much faster process making the wreaths. But I might make you a clip about the wreath making. I do have wreath demos coming up for the full detail, so do book your places there. And some of this will be used in my funeral sheaf demo tomorrow. So if you see this clip and you think, I've always wanted to know how to make a beautiful sheaf of flowers to lay on a coffin, then book a place tomorrow, or if it's quite soon afterwards, then you can always book it as a download. And soon there'll be another clip about wreathing. And do book a place on the Christmas wreath workshops. And there's a tablescape workshop coming up too. Honestly, I feel as though, put these down. I feel as though the season changing is confusing my brain. I think maybe that's what's going on. I don't know where to turn. I'm feeling there's a tension in my life. Anyway, on we go. Hope you've enjoyed the clip. I'll see you very soon.